folks, welcome back to another Paul Massive video, and today we're going to talk about Halloween Hilbert and Mightyena over here, right? Mightyena? I don't know. I guess Mightyena makes more sense. But yeah, this unit is very, very powerful for a striker. It is a dark striker, and weak to a fairy. So let's go over it real quick. So in terms of stats, 745 HP, which is fantastic HP, but there's the kicker later. 350 attack, 123 defense, irrelevant special attack, 123 special defense, and 267 speed. So overall, really, really, really high HP. Very good attack, right? And I guess decent, mediocre speed, right? So going over its kit, and you'll see why it has very, very high HP in a second. Got Crunch, which is Crunch, 99 BP, 3 bars, 100% accuracy, small chance of lowering the target's defense, right? It's the physical version of I guess, Shadow Ball, right? And physical dark version of Shadow Ball, which we already have in Charon, right? So moving on, we got X Attack, which is X Attack. Everyone and their mom knows what X Attack does by now, right? Then we got Double Edge, and that's why we have the very, very high HP, because we're getting a recoil move. Double Edge, right, which also Slacking has, right? Normal type, sorta. It's also kind of dark, because, we'll see in a minute, it does have Dark Shift passive, right, which turns normal type moves into dark types, which in this case, Double Edge now becomes a dark type. Physical, 167 BP, which is very, very high for a 3-gauge move. 100% accuracy, single target, and obviously you get the recoil, which is the downside, right? 25% of the damage dealt as recoil, which definitely hurts. But don't worry, his grid does have standfast nodes to make that not hurt that much, I guess. Moving on, we got the training move, Roar, which is 2 uses on yourself. Sharply raises user's speed, radically raises user's speed if affected by a status, sharply raises crit, and lowers the defense and special defense. Reminds me a bit of Sing Suit Red's training move, right? You lower your defenses, and then you get, in Red's case, +3 speed and attack, special attack, right? And in this case, this is, sharply speed and sharply crit, right? So yeah, you basically, like, in terms of like self buffs as a striker, you basically get everything. You got X attack over here, and then you got max crit, and then you potentially max speed as well, and on your passive you get even more attack. So yeah, let's move on to its passives and stuff, right? So this thing is very, 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 very good. So its sync move raises its own crit, which is what you get from Sing Suit Red and Wally Glade's sync move, right? Which, again, those very, very, very powerful. And in this case, his sync move actually does good damage as well, right? With 250 base BP instead of the Mega that you get from Wally or Red. And then on the passives, you got Carry On, which is Iris's passive, right? Gives you +1 attack every time a Pokemon on the field of play faints. And then you got Spur on 4, which gives you 4 move gauge every time a Pokemon on the field faints as well. And then Dark Shift, which shifts your normal type moves into the dark type moves. This looks phenomenal, honestly, as a striker. As a striker, Hilbert Migthyena really looks phenomenal. You basically get everything. You have good offensive stats, right? You get you max yourself out, and then you have that, Carry On and Spur On, right, which charges your gauges, and gives you, plus +1 attack every time something goes down. So this is very, very good for Balva, especially, the extra +1 crit on your sync move as well. Basically, I do kind of see Hilbert as sort of like the Battle Villa version of Houndoom, because Houndoom is very, very good, right? Obviously, Houndoom's damage is off the charts. However, Houndoom, you do need a lot of setup, and it's not very sustainable. You just blow everything in one go. And Hilbert is kind of the opposite of that. Hilbert is very, very much sustainable, which makes Hilbert much better for Battle Villa, right? Not so much difference in other stages and such, right? But yeah, this is incredibly powerful, incredibly powerful, and I'd say this is probably better. Well, I mean, you're gonna do more damage than Haxorus, right? Because The thing with Haxorus is being phenomenal, right? The downside is attack stats not that great in comparison, whereas Hilbert's attack stat is much better, and you do get the spur on, which is nice as well. Although Haxorus on the grid has 2 move gauge refreshes for Outrage too, which is also really good. So yeah, very good kit, and the Synchrid is even better. When I first saw the kit, I was like, oh come on, they're not gonna give him a really good Synchrid, are they? No, they're gonna give him a very good Synchrid. So let's check that out over here. So this is what the Synchrid looks like, and let's get into the details. So stat buffs, bunch of more stat buffs, crunch power ups, and one thing that I do like a lot about Hilbert as well is it not only has it has 2 3-gauge moves, which generally it's striker, it's whatever, right? And it does give you a second option if you don't want to double edge, in terms of it in stages like Balvilla, where you kind of do want to conserve your HP, right? Because it doesn't regen after each stage. So you have the option of either doing really big damage with double edge on stages that are much shorter, that don't really require you to maintain your HP levels or whatever, right? You could switch between that and crunch, which does a bit less damage, well, a lot less damage, but still, respectable damage, and also does not, recoil yourself. So I do like how they switch between those. I think that's fantastic. Ramming speed. First of all, crunch move gauge refresh too. Ramming speed. So extra 30% when you max out your speed. So if you do max out your speed, you're just straight up extra 30% damage, which is very good. Crunch power ups, more haymaker on your sync, right? So yeah, that's again, your syncs are really good. It gives you it's a regular 250 base, and then it gives you +1 crit on that as well, and then you got haymaker on top of that. Very good sync, and a second crunch move gauge refresh. So you got 2 crunch move gauge refreshes on top of the I think it's called Spur on 4, right? Spur on 4 for move gauge. So you shouldn't have too much move gauge issues, even though like this, and you get like +6 speed, right? Potentially +4 to 6 speed. And then you got super duper effective 1, powers up moves that are super effective, so that's an extra 10% if you are facing anything that's dark weak, right? So that's nice as well. Double edge power ups, more double edge power ups, move gauge refresh on double edge for 1, and then stand fast reduces recoil damage for double edge. Stand fast, or both of these are 5, right? Stand fast 5, 2 stand fast 5s to decrease the damage from. Oh, and you get a free stand fast 5 at 1 out of 5, which is nice. So reduces the recoil damage even further from double edge, so you don't have to worry too much about using double edge, right? And then another double edge move gauge refresh, so double move gauge refreshes for both double edge and crunch. And then you also get 2 stand fasts. So double edge would actually be really relatively sustainable, right? Obviously, it's not the most sustainable thing in the world, but in comparison to other recoil users that don't have stand fast, is much better, right? You got Terrify over here, which is the Intimidate for Mightyena, right? I guess they didn't have space on the passive, so they just threw it on the Synchrid just so you could get Intimidate. More double edge power ups, Roar MP refresh 2. Unfortunately, it's only 2 for some reason, but okay. Gritty 5, extra 50% if your status, you very unlikely will get, it's going to be really hard to status you. I mean, you could maybe sort of tank. I mean, you do have like good HP, I guess, but yeah. There's that, and also first aid, speaking of tanking, right? So maybe it's possible to get gritty up. It's just, I don't think it's a great idea. Even though this power up is insane, right? I mean, if you get this on top of ramming speed, on top of super duper effective, on top of another multiplier that's coming up, this guy's like damage is like, I can't even describe it, right? First Aid 4 restores a bit of the Pokemon's HP once during a battle when the Pokemon is in a pinch. Really nice, especially since you got that recoil going with double edge, right? As for some other stuff, more crunch power-ups. Insult to injury, the more the target's defense has been lower, the more it powers up moves. So this makes it so that like Acerola would be a really good partner for Mightyena, right? First of all, Acerola lowers the opponent's defenses, which you should be trying to do anyways. And then you also, activate Hilbert's insult to injury, right? So Acerola plus Hilbert would be a very good combo to run, right? And especially since Hilbert doesn't really need any other offensive supports that much, right? This would be fantastic to run. More crunch power ups, speedy entry 1 if you want that. more attack buffs, and then crunch on a roll if you're not, don't really have ace roll or any other defense down tech units to help you out over there, right? Oh, I just noticed I should probably move this over here. I'm sorry about that. A bit too late, but I was reading it. I'll tell you guys, know anyways. And then your usual sick move power up notes, right? So yeah, Hilbert looking really, really good, right? So you got a 30% on the what was he even called? The insult to injury, 30% on ramming speed. That's just extra 60%. That already does, that's already more than confusion boon on Iris Haxorus, right? So this is basically Iris Haxorus, but like better and dark type. So and everyone knows how incredibly busted Iris and Haxorus is already, right? So this guy is really, really good. This guy's incredibly powerful, and if you could somehow get Grady to activate, then it's GG. Like, it's over, right? This guy's damage is through the roof, very, very powerful and sustainable, because you don't really see this too often. A lot of high damaging units aren't the most sustainable in the world, right? And over here, Mightyena is just doing incredible damage and being incredibly sustainable as well. And you also got that sync nuke damage as well on Haymaker, right? I think it was. So yeah, you could potentially, if you don't want to commit to double edge, you could just run like a crunch Haymaker, which definitely would make up for the damage loss from the BP difference between double edge and crunch, right? So this guy is really, really good. I'm super looking forward to using him. Yeah, dude looks phenomenal. Great outfit as well. I see a lot of people are, fans of this outfit, right? So there you go, folks. Hilbert Migthyena. Fantastic unit. Can't wait till it comes out. I think it comes out on like the 15th or something, around that time, middle of the month. So that's nice. Again, pair him with Ace Roll. That's a very, very devastating duo over there. So anyways, again, that's me. This one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, guys, think in the comments down below. Like and enjoyed this video. So around channel for some more Opponent Masters content. We'll go over Luxray and Molayne in a bit as well. All the new Synchron expansions too. There's a lot of stuff to go over. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.